And yes, it is true, you will never be good enough for the roles that you try to play of these masks of your ego and all these beliefs, because they are not based on truth. It's not who you truly are, so it cannot be good enough. It cannot be who you are. It's not your ultimate essence. You're just faking it, basically. Accept it. Hello and welcome to Lovetune, your space for healing, inspiration, and growth. My name is Manukyan, and today we will be discussing how you can remove the need for validation, make it completely go away, or at least make this need much smaller. Before we jump straight into our topic, I would like to read to you this beautiful poetry called Breathe by Becky Hemsley. Breathe. She sat at the back, and they said she was shy. She led from the front, and they hated her pride. They asked her advice, and they questioned her guidance. They branded her loud, then were shocked by her silence. When she shared no ambition, they said it was sad. So she told them her dreams, and they said she was mad. They told her they'd listen and then covered their ears, and gave her a hug whilst they laughed at her fears. And she listened to all of it, thinking she should be the girl they told her to be best as she could. But one day she asked what was best for herself, instead of trying to please everyone else. So she walked to the forest and stood with the trees. She heard the wind whisper and dance with the leaves. And she spoke to the willow, the elm, and the pine, and she told them what had been told time after time. She told them she never felt nearly enough. She was either too little or far too much, too loud or too quiet, too fierce or too weak, too wise or too foolish, too bold or too meek. Then she found a small clearing surrounded by firs, and she stopped and she heard what the trees said to her. And she sat there for hours, not wanting to leave, for the forest said nothing. It just let her breathe. And with that beautiful poetry, we can start our topic of how we can best clear this need for validation, what aspect of us needs this validation, and how we can clear the need itself. So let's look at, for example, flowers or trees, and why trees or flowers don't question themselves. A rose doesn't question its worth, its beauty, or compare it to a peony, for example, or asks a peony, can you tell me that I smell good? Can you tell me that I look good? No, it just exists. Just like trees as well. They don't compare themselves to other trees and what the other trees has to do or how it looks like. But for us as humans, it has become like a norm to want to know that we are doing okay, to get this validation that I am enough. For some reason it has become a norm and a thing that is okay to do. It's not that it's not okay to do, but I guess once we look deeper at the root cause of this need for validation, we can clear it. And when people do, for example, compliment or feel like they have to say something to appreciate us, it will come from a different space, both for us and for the person giving it these nice words or whatever that is in this case. Because when we have this need, it is coming from a space of lack of something that we truly need inside, and we become a prisoner to people's opinions and what people have to say or don't say, and it's not always to our advantage what people have to say about us. And the best way is to actually free yourself from this prison called validation. So in short, if we go straight to the point, your true self your core self doesn't need validation, but the part of you that needs this validation, and I highlight the need part, is your ego self, which is built of a bunch of beliefs since you were young that was programmed to not believe in itself, to not trust itself, that it was flawed in some way. And this ego masks that we all have. And hopefully, as time goes on, we work on ourselves and we remove this mask so we don't need this validation or anything else from outside the world to tell us that this ego self is real. And this is what this ego self wants, our internal beliefs. This ego self wants us to validate that it is real and that it is true. These beliefs and these masks is true, when in actuality it's not true and it's not based on truth. So it cannot be true or exist. It's just something made up that we believe to be true, and so it is for some people, all their life for some people. But if we learn to remove these masks, then we will not have this need for validation. And I hear you say that it's easier said than done, and yes, there is some process to it, but at least we can accept the first steps. And I know there are monks who meditate for months and months and to become enlightened, to not need this ego self or these masks. But what we need to do first is to actually realize this truth, that I am not these beliefs, I am not these masks, I am not this space within me that needs validation from outside sources. And at least we accept this aspect that, okay, I have masks and I need to disassociate from these masks. Because if you reflect back, do you behave the same way, for example, at your work, or with your friends, or with your family members, or with the person you are in love with? Are you the same person? Or do you shift slightly, or your persona, your personality changes? And this is what is based off beliefs and all these masks. If you disassociate with your masks, then this need for validation will become much less. So if these ego masks are made up of beliefs, which can be, for example, I am not smart enough, I am not good enough, I am too fat, I am not good looking enough, I am not this enough, I am not that enough, and so I am lacking in something and I need this void to be filled. So at least I need you to tell me that I am smart, that I am not stupid, that I am beautiful, that I am not ugly, that I am not a bitch, or that I am not this or that I am enough. So at least that I can feel this void. But you know and I know that other people's words never feel anything internally. You still feel the same way about yourself. If you feel internally that you are ugly, no matter how much someone else will tell you that you are beautiful, you will still focus on your flaws. You will still focus on what you are lacking. And so it never fills any void at all. It's just a temporary bandage that never heals anything in the root cause of it all. I even know this couple where the female was really beautiful, and no matter how the partner told her how beautiful she was, she never really felt beautiful. And he said daily how beautiful she was, but she never felt beautiful because growing up she was never considered the beautiful type, and she was never told that she was beautiful by her parents. So she just accepted that I am not beautiful, and even if she grew up to become this black swan, or had this transformation, it's just still feel some form of void internally because the beliefs haven't been shifted. She hasn't catched up to her new image that she has created. And if you think about yourself as someone who comes with a clean slate of beliefs, for example, most children have clear consciousness and they are a clear slate. They don't have these beliefs such as we have, and they don't know what is good, what is bad. If you tell a child who's a newborn, for example, you are ugly, it will smile, or you are beautiful, it will smile. It won't make any difference to it because it's the same for this child. It's not different, it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. So what we need to do is to really accept the part we so much fear to be true about us. And only then will we not need or fear. Only then will we not need validation to feed our ego. Only then can we fully embrace who we truly are. And the irony is that we most times seek validation from people who have the same beliefs, who are themselves seeking validation as well. So it's just this constant toxic loop that we don't want to be in. And yes, it is true, you will never be good enough for the roles that you try to play of these masks, of your ego and all these beliefs, because they are not based on truth. It's not who you truly are, so it cannot be good enough. It cannot be who you are. It's not your ultimate essence. You're just faking it, basically. Accept it. We all are, or we all have been in this playing role game, but once we learn to embrace it and release this, then it becomes so much smoother journey and less need for anything outside of validation or anything else. So what you can do is write down your craziest fears for which you are actually seeking validation for, and also look into what you are seeking outside of yourself from other people. For example, I want this person to tell me that I am enough or that I am loved. I want this person to tell me that I am beautiful or this and that, whatever it might be in your case. And really examine why specifically from this person or this group of people, and what or who do they represent for me, and why do I feel this need to give my power away to someone else to dictate what I am and what I am not. And you can really even go deeper and just write down, I'm scared that it is true that I'm stupid, that I am a bitch, that I am fake, or any other negative trait, and just really sit with this word. Really, this is what it is, it's a word. And just question, so what? I am a bitch. Let's say I am a bitch. If I don't have a trigger reaction to this belief, I will not react no matter how many times you tell me, Annie, you are a bitch. Do you know that? And if this word or this hasn't registered with me and I don't feel anything, no reaction at all, it means I don't have the belief that I am a bitch, or that I am ugly, or that I am fake, or any other word for that matter. So if you react to any of these words that you have listed, then really look deeper, what part of me believes this to be true? And when did I start to believe this word that I'm giving my emotional power away to be true about me? And just accept it and don't give your power away to this word, because this is what it is. Yes, I am a bitch, so what? You can tell yourself for 10 minutes, I am a bitch, I am a bitch, I am a bitch, or I am ugly, I am ugly, I am ugly, until this whole word and this whole sentence doesn't make any sense and it loses its power over you. So if someone comes up to you and tells you these words, it's just, okay, I am that, so what? I am also this and that. It doesn't change who I truly am inside. These are just words. Because even if your ego believes it to be true, any of these words that I mentioned, or even worse, then it's actually not the truth, because it's not your true essence. So what? You picked up the belief one day that you are not smart or you are ugly, so what? Is it true? Not in your core essence, no. And you can shift this belief, you can shift your story so that internally you feel beautiful for yourself, you feel smart for yourself in your own world, and not the world that's built of beliefs and where other people have to constantly feed and validate this flawed belief that's never going to be validated. So it's a constant toxic loop that we all have fallen for, that it's time to break out of. Because in truth, you can really mold yourself into what and who you want to be. So giving that power and that pen away to someone else to write is just insanity, because even other people don't know who they truly are, what they're made of. So how would anyone know who you are, what you are made of, what your story is about, who you want to represent in the world? And you create the version of you want to be, and then from this space you start to feed yourself with new thoughts and beliefs that validate that this new version of yourself, and so that you can dispose of the old version that was dependent on others to tell her or him its worth or its validity. And you just tell yourself, okay, this is a new version I'm creating of myself. And that's it. And if that version can be more in aligned with your true essence, who doesn't know limits, boundaries, beliefs, then the better for you, because then you will not need to play a role and you will not need other people to play along with you. And really, when you accept all parts of yourself, to know that this is a process, I'm working through it, accepting your ugly side, your beautiful side, your naked side, your every side, you just become very peaceful internally with yourself. And no one can take that away from you, because you have nothing to fear and nothing to hide from anyone. And that really is the key to not needing validation outside of yourself. Just really making peace with yourself, accepting all sides of you, all parts of you, becoming one with your true essence, and stop playing roles that you have created for yourself. I hope this episode has helped you to release masks, release the need for validation, really accept yourself that much deeper. I love you. I'm sending you so much love. Remember to share this with your friends and tell them how this is the best episode and podcast you have ever listened to. And thank you so much for all the support and love, and I will see you in the next episode.